Good afternoon. Today is obviously a big day in our 15-month fight against COVID-19. The people of Massachusetts have been through so much over the past year, but together they have done a spectacular job of putting COVID on the run. I want to start by thanking so many people here in Massachusetts for getting vaccinated, and to the men and the women who put together the clinics that made it possible for Massachusetts to be a national leader in its vaccination effort. At this point in time, 78% of all adult residents now have had at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Over 3.5 million people are fully vaccinated. We think that number will be 3.6 tomorrow. And over 4.3 million people in Massachusetts have had at least a first dose. New cases have dropped by 94% since they peaked in January. The positive test rate is down to 0.8%, and hospitalizations are down by about 90% since their peak. This progress has made it possible for us to lift all remaining COVID restrictions across the Commonwealth effective tomorrow. As a reminder, all industries will be permitted to open, all capacity restrictions will be lifted, and all gathering limits will be rescinded. The face covering order will also be rescinded and replaced with a face covering advisory that's consistent with the CDC's recent updated guidance. Face coverings will still be required on public and private transportation systems and facilities that house vulnerable populations like congregate care settings. Some businesses may choose to keep mask or other requirements in place beyond May 29th. We ask everyone to be respectful and to follow their requirements. Also today, I'll sign an order that will rescind the state of emergency on June 15th. To prepare for the end of the state of emergency, we filed legislation to temporarily extend a few measures that were put in place by executive order over the previous 15 months. We'll work with our colleagues in the legislature and with municipal leaders to address these issues, hopefully before the 15th of June. I'm also issuing a modified declaration of a public health emergency under our public health statute. This declaration will ensure that the directives issued to ensure face coverings are worn in the specific settings that I mentioned earlier can take place, and to keep certain health measures in place to support the Commonwealth's continuing testing, tracing, and vaccination efforts. For the next school year, all schools will be required to be in person full-time, 5 days a week, and all education department health and safety requirements will be lifted, including distancing requirements. While everyone's been impacted by COVID over the past year, we know the impact the virus has had on our students has been especially difficult. But thankfully, the next school year will bring our students back to the classrooms, and in the weeks and months ahead, we anticipate many will have an opportunity with state, federal, and local resources to engage in summer programs to pick up on some of what they lost over the course of the year. We will also continue our vaccination program, and our goal remains the same, which is to make sure we put a vaccine in front of everybody who wants one. The science shows vaccinated people are highly unlikely to spread the virus to others. Getting vaccinated is the best way to protect you, your family, and your friends. The vaccine is free, and you don't need an ID or insurance to get one. There are over 900 vaccine clinics across Massachusetts, and they're widely available, and there's no wait. And a big part of the success we've seen in the drop in cases and hospitalizations and deaths since January is very much attributed to the people who've gotten vaccinated here in the Commonwealth. And we plan to continue our focus on increasing targeted community-based vaccine clinics and mobile clinics, and a big expansion of our homebound program to reach anyone that has an issue with getting a vaccine. We're increasing our mobile clinics in communities that were hit hardest by the virus, and we've been working with employers and schools to set up vaccination programs there as well. There's no wait, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to make it easy for people to get vaccinated here in Massachusetts. But if you are still waiting, please continue to wear a mask and keep your distance. But thanks to the people of Massachusetts who've made enormous sacrifices over the course of the past year to get us to this point, brighter days are very much upon us. We've been battling the virus for too long, but today we have an opportunity to put an exclamation point on all the hard work that so many people have done and continue to move Massachusetts forward together.